In this morning's legal brief, a few weeks ago, we told you about a jilted spouse who won more than $8 million in an alienation of affection lawsuit right here in North Carolina.
So here's the deal. If your spouse cheats, you do have rights, and it's important to know what those rights are. Robin Lalley is here with us, family law attorney at Sodoma Law. York is here to talk about just that. Robin, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in. Whew, this is a touchy subject.
Yes.
First of all, just trying to, I think, wrap your head around the emotional, you found out a spouse has cheated. So that takes a lot to even grasp. But once that moment has happened, what is the first step that someone is supposed to do?
A great first step is to talk to an attorney, obviously, because they can tell you what your legal claims might be, not only involving your spouse, but maybe even the person that they cheated with.
So Jason makes a good point. You know, and depending where you are, you either, some people want to confront their spouse right then. It's probably smarter to speak to an attorney first and see what you should do. Does that vary? Would what you tell someone what to do vary depending on if you're in North or South Carolina?
Absolutely. So it's important to remember that a claim like alienation of affection, which is where you're suing the person that your spouse cheated with, is only available in North Carolina and about 7 other states, and that does not include South Carolina. So it is not an available claim in South Carolina, but it can affect other issues both in North Carolina and South Carolina, such as alimony or even custody.
Explain that a little bit. It sounds very legal. Alienation of affection. What does that actually mean?
So that is a claim. It's sometimes referred to as the heart bomb tort, where it's a claim where a spouse is alleging that they believe that their other spouse has either left them or deserted them as a result of interference by a third party, and that typically is in the form of cheating.
And you're suing the third party.
You're suing the third party because what you're claiming is that your marriage, which was a marriage of genuine love and affection, was affected or alienated by the actions of the third party, and those actions of the third party were the proximate or controlling cause in the breakdown of the relationship between you and your spouse.
Whew, it's getting tense in here. I'm going to throw a wrench into this. Let's throw some kids into the mix.
Absolutely.
How do you handle this with kids? Say that person who cheated decides to now have a relationship with that person. How do you involve kids in that? Is there a time to introduce the kids to that person that they're now dating? Any rights that comes to co-parenting when you have this person in the mix?
Absolutely. Certainly when it involves someone that the spouse cheated with, that makes it a more emotionally charged and difficult situation. In a custody situation, some judges might find that it's not in the kid's best interest to be exposed to that dating partner so soon, and some judges might not have a problem with it if everyone is acting appropriately. But two parents that have decided that they want to work together and put their kids' best interests first might agree to enter into something like a co-parenting agreement that sets out the stipulations for when you can introduce the children to the dating partner and how, and it puts both parents on the same page, and you're putting your kids first in front of anything else.
Robin Lalley with Sodoma Law, York. Thank you so much for coming in.